total valuation. In finance theory 1, I think you have heard this term, right? Risk neutral, right? The risk neutral means, if you are in the risk neutral, if the investor is risk neutral, it means that they are indifferent to receive, return of the from the investment equal to the risk-free rate. So in this case, we assume that in pricing or in order to estimate the value of the security, we assume the return will be equal to the risk-free rate. Okay, why we can assume that the return is equal to the risk-free rate? As you can see from the previous example, that in order to construct the portfolio, the return of the value of the portfolio is always the same, no matter the stock goes up or goes down. Okay, so in this case, if we assume that we are in the risk neutral world, then the value of the stock, if you know that the value of the stock today is equal to 20, so given that the risk-free rate is equal to 12%, so next period, value of the stock in the risk neutral world, not the actual one, okay? Not the actual one, in the risk neutral world, value of the stock at time t will be equal to S0 ERT, okay? Not sure whether you have seen this formula, basically just the continuous compounding return. But if you want to use the discrete one, you just, the value is just the basic time value of the money. ST is equal to S0 1 plus R T. Future value equal to the present value times 1 plus R T. So next period, stock price will be equal to the current one S0 multiplied by 1 plus RT. This is a discrete time compounding, but this one is a continuous time compounding. ST will be equal to S0 ERT. Okay? So based on this approach, we will assume that any security will generate the return equal to the risk-free rate. Okay, we will generate the return equal to the risk-free rate. So next period, return will be risk-free. When you discount, also use the risk-free too. Okay, now given that okay, same binomial tree. Okay, this is called binomial tree. You know the current stock price S0. Okay, you know the current stock price S0 equal to 20. Assume that you know that next period the stock price can be 22 or 18. Okay, let's define P. Let's define P is the risk neutral probability when the stock price goes up, and 1 minus P is the risk neutral probability of when the stock price goes down. I always say the risk neutral because this is not the actual probability. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, that next period value of the stock will earn the return in the risk neutral world, because the stock earn the return equal to the risk free. So next period value of the stock would be equal to 20 ERT, and this value must be equal to the expected value between 22 value when the stock goes up multiplied by the probability, risk neutral probability, plus 18 1 minus P. Okay, and then based on this equation you can solve for P, and this P is the risk neutral probability, the probability that the stock will go up in the risk neutral world, 0.6523, and of course 1 minus P would be 0.3477, right? Okay, once you know P, you can also solve for call option, because you know that at maturity value of the call equal to 1 when the stock goes up, U is up, D is down. Okay, so value of the call when the stock goes down is 0. Okay, this is the information that we have seen before. So based on this value of the call multiplied by the probability, risk neutral probability that we have solved in the previous slide, and then discount it back to the time 0, so you get value of the call today. Basically, we use the same formula here, right? We use the same formula here. The value of the call C, value of the call C multiplied by E 0.12, 0.25 must be equal to $1 value of the call multiplied by P 0.65 to 3 plus value of the call when the stock goes down equal to 0 and 0.1 minus 0.65 to 3, right? So this is 0, and then you just move this ERT to the right hand side, right? That's why C is equal to, okay, same here. So just move this from the left hand side, so it becomes E minus RT here. Okay, and then you get value of the call C. Okay. This one is easy, but first the way to understand the risk neutral maybe is a bit hard to understand, but it's easy to calculate the value of the call. First, you estimate value of the stock next period by assume that this value of the stock will earn the return equal to the risk free and will be equal to the probability of the stock goes up and goes down. Estimate the probability and then use that probability to estimate value of the call. Okay. So far we have seen two approaches. Now I just want to give you a bit more, linkage to the market information. So far we just explicitly assume that, okay, the stock goes up to 22, goes down to 18. But how do we know that the stock must go up to 22 and 18? Of course, we do not know, right? So, in order to estimate the proportional increase and decrease U and D, this is the approach that proposed by the Cox-Ross Rubinstein, the same paper that introduced the binomial option pricing model. When you know the stock price, you can estimate the standard deviation of the stock return, sigma. And this sigma is the same as you put in the back-show option pricing model. Okay, sigma, the unit of sigma is the standard deviation per year. Okay, the standard deviation per year. So, in the market, you can estimate the change, the percentage change of the stock return, right? With this percentage change of the stock return, you can estimate sigma. Based on sigma here, suppose you want to estimate the option for any period T, so you can estimate U and D by using this formula. And then you can estimate the S, the stock price when it goes up or goes down. Okay. If you want to subdivide the period, make it shorter sub-period. In previous example, we assume just one period that is not practical in the real life because you cannot come up with the accurate value for the call option. So you can use this to get estimate UND for any period. Suppose you want to know UND for 1 month, but you may, divide for 3 months European call option, you can divide the sub-period into each, the one period equal to 1 month, and you have 3 sub-periods. So T here should be equal to 1 over 12 months. Okay, and then you get U per 1 period, and 1 period equal to 1 month. However, in the previous example, if you want just 1 period, so you can just substitute T equal to 3 over 12 or 0.25. Okay. So U and D can be different depending on the time interval per period. Okay, the length of the time interval. You learn this again, don't worry, in the derivative course. In our course here, we will adjust this a little bit more when we use it to price the callable bond or puttable bond later. Now let's move on to the third approach. It's called replicating portfolio. Okay. This one with more complicated in my opinion. The idea for this approach is we try to construct, we call the synthetic call put option, but in example it's just a call, synthetic call. We will construct the synthetic call by just, buy the share and then borrow the money, and the payoff of this synthetic call would be similar or exactly the same payoff of the call option. Let's have a look at this. Suppose we want to value the call, European call option of the stock XYZ or XYZ. Okay, the strike price is $40 and time to maturity is 1 year. To make it simple, one period equal to 1 year, but it's maybe not sensible to assume one period equal to 1 year. Suppose that the stock don't pay the dividend, does not pay the dividend. Previous example also we assume that there is no dividend payment as well. Otherwise we have to adjust the possible future stock price here. Okay. Risk-free rate 8%. Okay. Current stock price 41. In this case it's not symmetry, okay, because 41 is 60 and goes down to 30. We can assume the symmetric decrease too. But in this case it's not symmetric. 41 increase to 60 or 30. Okay. This is the stock price. So what is the value of the call today with the strike price 40? We will value the call by construct the portfolio B. Okay. Portfolio A is value of the call that we buy one call. And then we try to construct portfolio B. This portfolio B consists of buy share and borrow the money. You see in the next slide that these two portfolio A and B have the same payoff, no matter the stock goes up or goes down. So eventually, by constructing portfolio B, we can estimate value of the option. Okay. So suppose we know the number. Suppose we know that portfolio B consists of 2/3 of share XYZ and borrow 18.462. Okay. How can we know this number? I'll let you know later. Okay. Suppose that this number given, okay, 2/3 of share and 18.462. Suppose that we can borrow at the risk-free rate. Again, we just assume the risk-free true world. Okay, portfolio A is a portfolio of the call, one call. So value of this portfolio today is unknown. Okay, value of the portfolio A is unknown today. Portfolio B, we can estimate value of the portfolio B. 2/3 of the share value of the stock today is 41. 2/3 multiplied by 41. We borrow the money 18.462. So current value of the portfolio B is equal to 8.87. So actually, if next period value of portfolio A and B is the same, so value of portfolio A and B also must be the same today too. And value of the call will be equal to this. Okay, so next I'll show that for the next period, payoff for portfolio A and B just the same for the next period, 1 year at the expiration. When the option expires, A and B portfolio have the same. Okay, so we can prove that value of the portfolio A and B today also must be the same too. And value of call today is equal to 8.87. Okay. Now let's see value of portfolio A and B in the next in the next year. Okay. Because the stock can go up to 60 or goes down to 30. When the stock goes down to 30, okay, value of the call is 0. Okay, worthless 0. When stock goes up to 60, so this is ST minus exercise price 40. So value of this call is 20. The payoff, okay, 20. Value at the expiration is 20. What about portfolio B? What about portfolio B? Because this portfolio consists of 2/3 of the share, 2/3 of 30 current stock price at the end of the year, 2/3 multiplied by 30 is equal to 20. You borrow 18.462, so 1 year later you have to pay back 20. Okay. Come from 18.462 point. Let me know if it's not the same, not correct. Okay, so you borrow today 18.46, 1 year later you have to pay back 20. So value of the portfolio today is 0 for portfolio B. Because you have 20, you have the share equal to 20. Sell this share, pay back the money that you borrow. When the stock goes up to 60, value of the stock is 40. You also have to pay back 20. So the rest, okay, 20 equal to value of the call in portfolio A. So this slide basically just want to show you that portfolio B and A and B, no matter the stock goes up to 60 or go down to 30, the portfolio have the same payoff, at the end of the year. So value of the stock today, value of the portfolio today also must be the same. And then value of call option must be equal to 8.871. Okay, 8.871. Okay. Now, how can we know that we have to buy 2/3 of share and we have to borrow 18.462? I'll use the second example. Okay, here is just provide a summary that I already mentioned. Okay, value of portfolio A and B should have the same cost. Okay, so value of the value of the option must be equal to this. And value the portfolio B, because have the same payoff as portfolio A, the call option. So this is called synthetic call. 2/3 of the share, this is called delta. Okay, delta. In the derivative cost, you know that basically this delta is the first derivative of the call price respect to the underlying asset price. So in order to estimate number of shares that we have to buy, basically you just estimate delta C over delta P for the up and down node. So 2/3 of the shares come from delta. Basically, you know that at the end of year 1, delta C over delta S, delta C is equal to 20 minus 0. And value of the stock is equal to okay. So this is number of shares that you have to buy into the portfolio B. Okay. Once you know the delta, then you can estimate the number of money, amount of the money that you have to borrow, because for portfolio B, you know that your portfolio will be for the value of the stock. So because value of the call is 20, so this must be 20 amount that you have to pay back, and then you discount 20 back to time 0 is equal to 18.462 here. Let's try the second example. Suppose that value of the stock today is 41, and then the stock can goes up to 59.954 or decrease to 32.903. Okay, so what is delta, number of shares that we have to buy? So delta is equal to delta C over delta S, and delta C, you know that the value of the stock when the stock goes, the value of the call when the stock goes up, this would be equal to the exercise price is 40, so value of the stock is 59.954. So CU, the value of the call when the stock goes up, equal to 19 point. Right? Because CU value, the payoff, is equal to S minus the exercise price. Okay, 59 minus 40 is equal to this. It's the maximum value between 0 and S minus the exercise price. And CD, okay, value of the call when the stock decrease equal to 0, because the value of the call equal to S minus the exercise price. S is lower than the exercise price, right? So the maximum value between 0 and the difference of S and X, so value of the call is 0. Okay, so you can substitute delta C and delta S, right? So you can estimate delta number of shares, 19.954 minus 0 divided by 59.954 minus 32.903. Okay, 59 minus 32, 19 minus 0. Okay, so delta is equal to 0.7376. You can try. Okay, it should be equal to this. Okay, it should be equal to this. Okay. And then you can determine the value of the money, the amount of the money that you have to borrow today. Because when the stock goes up to 59, right? Value of the call is 19.954. So amount of the money is the difference is equal to 40, right? So you discount 40 back. Discount the money 40 back, right? But the value of the call is 90. Yeah, you have to eventually you have to pay back 40. So you discount 40 back with the risk-free rate 8%, right? So amount that you have to borrow to, so it's not 40, it should be 24. 24. Oh, okay, because we have only delta of this share, so you have to multiply by 0.7376 with this first. Okay, so that you know the value of the portfolio. We don't have one share, we just we have to multiply 0.7376 with the current with the stock price when the stock price goes up, and then subtract the 19.954, then you know the amount that you borrow at that you have to pay back at the end of the year. Okay, so let me try. Point 0.7376 multiplied by the value of the portfolio when the stock goes up is equal to 0.7376 multiplied by 59.954. So it's equal to it should be equal to this one. 44.225 here, right? 44.225, 73, 76 multiplied by 59 equal to this. Okay, and because value of this portfolio is 19, so the amount that we borrow should be the difference between 44 and this one. Can you follow? Because the two portfolio must be the same. Value of the call when the stock goes up equal to 19.954, right? So you know value of the stock equal to 59.954 multiplied with this equal to this one. Take the difference between this and this, so you get the amount that you have to borrow, you have to pay back, and you discount this back with the risk-free rate. You get the amount that you have to borrow today equal to this 22.405. Okay. So this is just value of the stock at maturity 44.225. Okay, and then you subtract value of the call 19.954. So you get the amount that you have to pay back the loan. And then you discount this back to get the amount that you have to borrow today. So then you can construct the portfolio B. And then you can estimate value of the call. Because you already know amount that you borrow today and value of the stock today. Okay, this is the amount that you have to borrow today. And this comes from you discount the 20, this one, 24.271. Okay? Discount it back. Okay, can you follow? And it is like they just try to prove that the two portfolio have the same payoff. But what I just tried to show you that we can estimate this and this. Okay, we can estimate the share, number of shares that we have to buy today, and amount that we have to borrow, the amount of the money that we have to borrow today. Okay. Actually, this approach may not quite convenient comparing to the first and the second one. Anyway, the idea of the delta share can be applied for the first approach too. Okay, I mentioned. You can see that if you go back to look at the first approach, this delta 0.25. You can solve by this question, but actually you can solve this delta by using the idea of the delta C over delta S, also the same. This 0.25 can be solved by using, the definition of the delta, which is equal to delta C over delta S, and delta C is equal to 1, right? Minus 0 over 22 minus 18. Just want to address that, okay, the idea to estimate this basically is the number of shares that you have to buy in the construct a portfolio that will always have the same payoff. Okay. But for this approach maybe slightly different from the previous the third one. But the idea to estimate the number of shares just the same using the idea of delta. Okay. Risk neutral means it is, if we assume investor is risk neutral, so the return in this world or for the investor will be equal to the risk free. Risk neutral and risk free. What can I say? For the risk neutral, means that normally when we use the term risk neutral, it means that we assume investor in our consideration have indifferent about the risk, so the return that they want will be equal to the risk-free rate.
So for the valuation that is equal for this
will be equal to the risk-free. Risk-less also equal to
this neutral method. This first method now
you mean the value, of course you have seen already that the value is also the same. Actually, any approach should yield the same. Any approach should yield the same. Okay? We have already seen that this approach you get 0.633 from the first approach, and the second approach with the same number you also get the same 6.33. You get the same here. Also the third one too. But I haven't provided the same example, the same number, but three approaches provide the same. Okay, result. Do you want to try using the European the Black-Scholes model? It may take about 5-10 minutes to put in this. You get this based on the binomial one, and with only one period. So the value may be quite different. Okay, but if you divide the period to be more shorter, then the value would be close to the European. Actually, you can search in the internet, okay, and then just put in the number. But if you want to try it yourself, basically, you just, for the Black-Scholes model, see it will be equal to, current stock price is equal to 20, right? And then ND1 first, you have to estimate D1 first. D1 is equal to the natural logarithm of S20 divided by exercise price equal to exercise price is, can't remember what is the exercise price. $21. Exercise price is 21. For this example, 21. Okay, 20 divide, this is S0 You can look at the formula. And 21, I can't remember anymore. I have to look at the formula. This we have to multiply by ND1, okay? We try to estimate D1 and D2 equal to D1. So you need to estimate D1 first. Log of 20 over 21. Let me check. S over K plus R plus 1/2 of variance multiplied T. Okay. R plus 1. R is 0.12 plus 1/2 of variance. Oh, sorry, we cannot because we don't know the variance of this one. We do not know the variance. Sorry. So we cannot compare value based on the European. Sorry for the binomial and the Black-Scholes. Sorry. We don't know the variance, so cannot. If you want to know the variance, so you have to put in U equal to 1.1, right? E sigma square root of 0.25 solve for sigma, but I am not going to solve for sigma. Okay. Okay? Just stop here. Okay, so you have to estimate D1 and then you use the Excel or you just look at the standard normal distribution to look at the ND1. Estimate ND1 multiplied by 20 minus K ERT multiply ND2. Okay, you get C. Unfortunately, I don't have sigma. Okay. Any question? Before we will have a look some more example, but in this case we will apply for the bond. Okay, for the bond. Option for the bond. So far we just look at example on the stock option. Okay. This is another example. Okay, this is another example. Suppose that you want to estimate the European call option on a bond. What does it mean? This option provides the right to buy a bond at some certain price in the future. Okay, in the future. Suppose that this European 6-month European bond call option. Okay, you can buy the bond in the next 6 months for the strike price equal to 975 for the par value of 1,000 on a zero coupon bond that will mature on 1 year from now. So the idea is suppose you buy this European call option on bond at the expiration 6 months from now. Okay, you have the right whether you want to buy the zero coupon bond at the price equal to 975 or not. Okay, so it depends on the price of zero coupon bond is higher than 975 or lower than 975, right? If the value of the zero coupon bond 6 months from now is higher than 975, so you want to exercise the call, right? But if value of the zero coupon bond is lower than 975, you don't want to exercise the call. This bond, because the bond right now has the time to maturity equal to 1 year, so it means that at the expiration of the European call, the bond that we will want to exercise will have the maturity equal to 6 months. Okay, equal to 6 months. Okay, at time zero right now, the value of the bond is 1 year that we can buy. Okay, zero coupon bond has the time to maturity equal to 1 year, but at the maturity at the expiration of the bond at the expiration of the call option, this bond, the underlying asset, is 6 months time to maturity, zero coupon bond. Okay, so first I just want to make clear that what we going to buy. Okay, what we going to buy, we have the option to buy the zero coupon bond. Okay, in order to price this European call option on bond, suppose that the current 6-month yield to maturity or the spot rate equal to 5%. Don't forget that this 5% is per year. However, this is for the 6-month period. Okay. Then we assume that the 6-month interest rate, 6-month yield to maturity, it can increase to 5.5 or decrease to 4.5 in the next 6 months. Okay. This 5% is applied for the next 6 months, right? Then after next 6 months, what about the 6-month interest rate? Suppose I write the binomial tree like this. The current interest rate 6 months from now is 5%. But the interest rate for the next 6 months, it can be 5.5 or 4.5. And this interest rate will be applied for the next 6 months, okay, from month 6 to month 12. Okay. This is an assumption. And this is a market information. The first and the third, this is a market information. 5%, 6 months yield to maturity, and 1 year yield to maturity 5.15%. Or this is the 1 year spot rate. Okay, 5.15%. Okay. In order to estimate the value of the call, first we estimate value of 6 months zero coupon bond. As you know that zero coupon bond, when you buy the zero coupon bond, you get the face value at maturity. Okay, so value at maturity is 1,000. Okay, value at maturity is 1,000. What is the value today? For the 6 months zero coupon bond, value of the bond today is equal to the face value divided by 1 plus the yield to maturity. Okay, this is 6 months yield to maturity. But don't forget that it's quoted per year, so you have to divide by 2. Okay, so the zero coupon bond price for 6 months is 975.61, and 1 year zero coupon bond price can estimate, okay, can be estimated the same way, equal to this 1,000, the value of the face value of 1 year zero coupon bond, discount by 1 year spot rate 5.15%. Okay, 1 year spot rate 5.15%. Okay, by assuming the semi-annual compounding, so we take the power of 2. Okay, semi-annual compounding, because one period equal to 6 months in this case. What about this? This is the value today of 1 year zero coupon bond. Okay, this is the value today of 1 year zero coupon bond. This is value today of 6 months zero coupon bond. What about this? Suppose that at the end of 6 months, okay, at the end of 6 months, what would be the value of this bond? This bond used at time 0, this bond is 1 year 0 coupon bond. However, after 6 months, it becomes 6 months 0 coupon bond, right? This 1 year 0 coupon bond, after 6 months, it becomes 6 months 0 coupon bond. So if the market interest rate increased to 5.5%, value of this bond would be equal to this, 973. Okay, don't forget that 1 year 0 coupon bond, after 6 months, it becomes 6 months 0 coupon bond. Value of the bond is 973 if the interest rate increased to 5.5. Oh, someone just increased the temperature to 26, that's why. Okay. So this is the value of 6 months, okay, from now. 973 when the interest rate is 5.5. And when the interest rate decreases to 4.5, value of this bond becomes 978. Okay? We can view this as a forward price, the value of the 6 month coupon, 6 month 0 coupon bond 6 months from now as a forward price. Okay? Nothing new here. Let's have a look here. At the end of 6 months, okay, from today, after 6 months, European call option expire, right? At the end of 6 months, European call option expire. What is the value of this option? What is the value of this call option? So, this option has the exercise price, okay, to buy the bond at 975. So if value of the bond equal to 973, so value of the call becomes 0. Okay. This forward price can be used as the value of the bond when the stock when the interest rate increase but the value of the bond decrease. Okay. So value of the call is 0 when the interest rate increase, and value of the call equal to 3. Okay, because when the interest rate decrease, value of the bond decrease to 978 with the exercise price 975. So value of the call is $3. Okay, so basically we do the same. We try to come up with value of the call at the expiration of the option. Okay, 0 and 3. Now we will construct the portfolio that have the payoff the same as the call here. We do not know whether we have to short or long the 0.5 year bond and 1 year 0 coupon bond. 0.5 year 0 coupon bond and 1 year 0 coupon bond. Okay? So we just construct the equation like this. F represent the amount, per 1 unit par, per $1 of the par. This is the amount that we have to buy or sell. 6 months 0 coupon bond or 0.5 year 0 coupon bond. Plus this one. Okay. 1 year 0 coupon bond. Okay, 1 year 0 coupon bond. Why this one is just equal to this? Because this is the value at the expiration of the call option. So 6 months 0 coupon bond is become the we get the par, so this would be $1 multiplied by the amount. Okay, but for the 1 year zero coupon bond, so value of the bond becomes 6 months, so this is equal to this per $1. Okay, if the par per $1 of par, so this would be 0.97324 multiplied by amount that we have to buy or sell this bond. Okay, this bond. And for this note, when the interest rate decrease, the value of this bond become 0.978 multiplied by the amount that we have to buy or sell. We do not know right now whether F1 and F.5 here, it will be positive or negative. Positive means we have to buy today. Negative means we have to short it today. However, this is the value at the expiration of the option 6 months from now. Because right now we try to replicate value of the portfolio that have the same payoff as the call option at expiration. We know that expiration right now, value of the call is 0 and 3 when the interest rate increase and decrease. So value, the replicating portfolio should have the same 0 and 3, the same as well. Okay, and then we try to estimate F05 and F1 that satisfy the equation here. Okay, any question? This one is value of the amount of the 6 months zero coupon bond that we have to buy or sell today. And of course, at the maturity, at the 6 months, it's become the face value. So that's why it's actually 1 multiplied by the amount that we have to buy and sell today. So by solve these two equations to unknown, okay, we can solve for F0, F.5 and F1. Okay, two equations to unknown, we can solve for F.5 and F1. Can you solve two equations to unknown, right? You get F1 and F.5. So you can see that value of F.5 is negative. It means that you have to short the 6 months zero coupon bond, and you have to long 1 year zero coupon bond today. Okay. So you know the amount that you have to short and long, but that is for time at 6 months from now. So you have to estimate value at time zero by using the market value today. So this is not the minus sign, okay? Minus is here already, so this is not the minus sign. So the portfolio value of this should be equal to the current market value of 6 months zero coupon bond and this is the market value of 1 year zero coupon bond per $1 of par. Okay, so it's 0.9756 and this for 1 year. Okay, from the information from the previous slide. So you get value of the portfolio today that consists of shorting 6 months zero coupon bond and longing 1 year zero coupon bond today. And because of by setting up value of the call and the portfolio have the same payoff at the end of expiration. So at time zero also have the same payoff too. So value of this portfolio today is equal to 0.58. So value of the call also must be equal to 0.58 too. Let me summarize. Okay, basically we try to estimate value of the call, right? You know value of the call when the interest rate increase equal to 0, when the interest rate decrease equal to 3. Then we construct the portfolio, replicate the portfolio that have the same payoff. Okay? That's why we come up with these two equations. We solve for F.5 and F1. That is the amount that we have to short and long. 1 year 0 coupon bond and 6 months 0 coupon bond. However, we have to estimate at time 0. That's why we have to use the current value of 6 months 0 coupon bond and 1 year 0 coupon bond. Multiply with the unit. You have to come up with the value of the portfolio, replicating portfolio today. So you get the value of the replicating portfolio today equal to this. The value of the call also must be equal to this too. Okay? Any question? So the idea quite similar to the third approach that we have seen before. But it's no lend money or borrow the money.
ไม่ใช่อันนี้ก็ลบ6 ใช่เขาบอกมันเป็นไม่เกี่ยวกับในสัดส่วนอันนี้ก็บอกว่าตัวนี้ต้องกำหนดไม่ได้
Okay, if there is no other question, then let's move on a little bit more. Actually, I just want to finish this, but let's try. I'm not sure. Okay, we have talked about it in the first lecture already, right? What are the embedded options? Okay, for the straight bond or option-free bond, there is no the call provision or the put provision. However, if in the bond provides some, the call put provision that are called the embedded option. Okay, basically the bond incorporated with some option. Okay, and then value of the bond should be incorporated this slide just provide more information about the callable bond. Okay, you can see that the callable bond is the bond that provide the option for the issuer, okay, the issuer to redeem the bond before the maturity. And as we discussed before, when the bond may be redeemed, the issuer gets benefit of buying back the bond before the maturity when the interest rate in the market decrease, so they can reissue the new bond with a lower coupon rate and refinance, the existing bond. Okay. Anyway, normally the bond may provide some lockout period. This lockout period means that after the bond issue, okay, for some certain year, issuer cannot redeem the bond. For example, suppose 5-year bond. For the first 2 years, suppose that the bond set the lockout period equal to 2 years, means that after the issue date, bond cannot be redeemed for the first 2 years. And then, okay, issuer can be redeemed the bond. How often that the issuer can be redeemed the bond? Okay, then we have to look at the condition, the provision, whether this option is European, American, or Bermudian style option. For the European, it means that issuer can redeem the bond only at the expiration at the end of the lockout date. But for the American style, it means that after the lockout date, okay, issuer can redeem any time before the maturity of the bond. For the Bermudian, maybe set the period more than once that issuer can redeem the bond. Normally, we will set on the coupon payment day, okay, that the issuer can redeem the bond. For the put, quite similar. Okay, the idea quite similar. For the first bullet, we have discussed it before that for the puttable bond, the option is option for the option holder. The bond holder can sell back the bond to the issuer before the maturity. Okay, so when bond holder want to sell back the bond, they will get the benefit when the interest rate in the market increase because they can sell back at a certain price, at the exercise price. We have learned the put option, right? So if they can sell back the bond at some certain price, the exercise price, when the market interest rate increase, actually the bond price must decrease, right? However, because of the exercise price already set since day one when the bond issue, so they can sell back the bond at the exercise price, not the market price based on the rate of the interest, of the increase of the interest rate. So bondholder get the benefit of this, that they can sell the bond at some certain price, the exercise price, the put price. Okay. Other thing just the same, the exercise stock can be European. However, quite rarely for the Wilden stock, okay, and no American. This is because for the issuer it's hard to manage the liquidity, right? Because normally when firm issue bond, they normally will spend the money, invest in the fixed asset. So if they provide very flexibility for the bond holder, this may be hard to handle for the bond issuer to buy back the bond. So normally for the put option, for the puttable bond, it's likely to be the European put option. Okay. And the put price normally would set equal to the par. I'm not sure this already indicated. For value of the callable bond, value of the callable bond will be equal to the difference between value of the straight bond minus value of the call option. Why? Because don't forget that this option belongs to the issuer, not the holder. The callable bond, value of the callable bond is the value that bond holder have to pay, right? So value of the callable bond must be lower because this part is benefit goes to the issuer, not the bond holder. So basically, again, some students we talk during the break that when we consider all these things, we have to set other factor constant. So in this case, suppose that straight bond and callable bond, suppose they have the same coupon rate. Okay, they have the same coupon rate. Value of the callable bond must be lower than value of the straight bond. Okay, we have to assume other things just the same. So value of the callable bond must be lower than value of the straight bond due to we have to subtract the benefit from some. In this case, it's just like the bondholder issue or write the call option to the bond issuer. Okay, so the bondholder must pay less. Okay, must pay less because this option goes to the bond issuer. Basically, option writer is the bondholder. Okay. For the puttable bond, because this option is for the bondholder, so the bondholder must pay for this option. So value of the puttable bond is equal to the sum of this. Okay, the sum of this higher. Okay, so value of the puttable bond must be higher than the value of the callable bond if other things just the same. Okay. In order to consider the yield of the callable bond and puttable bond, actually we have discussed about this, right? Because the bond can be redeemed before the maturity, so based on the call date, or exercise date. So we can assume the price. We know the call price, put price, right? So you can estimate the yield for each call. One with the lowest yield is called yield to worst. That's all. Okay, because one bond may have more than one time that the bond can be redeemed by the bond issuer. So with different call date, okay, you can assume that if the bond is called for the first time, what is the yield? What if the bond is called for the second time? Suppose it's a Bermuda stock. What is the yield? And then you come up with many different yield for different scenario. The one with the smallest number is called yield to worst. That's all. This we have already discussed, right? When you come up with the yield, when we assume that the bond is called, there is the implicit assumption about the reinvestment rate. Okay, the coupon that you receive, you have to reinvest at the rate equal to the yield that you got. Okay, the yield to call. Otherwise, if you cannot reinvest the coupon equal to the yield to call, then actual return that you receive, it will be not equal to the yield to call. Okay, in order to understand the price yield relationship for the callable bond, okay, to understand this, let me use this graph. For the green line, we have seen it before. This is a straight bond or non-callable bond price yield relationship. Okay, the convex curve here. When the yield increase or the liquid rate of return increase, market price of the bond decrease. When the yield decrease, market bond increase. Okay, and the size of the decrease or increase of the bond price, if the change is small, it's okay. Okay, the increase and decrease just the same. However, when the change of the yield, okay, not small, is large. When the yield increase, the change of the percentage change of the bond price, when the yield increase, will be lower than the yield decrease. That's called the positive convexity, you still remember. Because of the slope not the same here, right? The slope becomes steeper here. So for some percentage change of the yield, the bond price increase more here. This is called a positive convexity. So this is a green line. However, for the callable bond, okay, you have the graph something like this. Suppose this is y star is the, we do not know exact value for the y star, but y star will be close to, y star is the current market yield. It will be close to the coupon rate of the callable bond. Let's consider that if the market liquid return, okay, is higher than the current coupon rate of this callable bond. Okay, suppose y star is very close to the coupon rate of the callable bond, and the market liquid return or the market yield is greater than y star. So, what does it mean? Investor in the market liquid return higher than the current coupon rate. So, if the issuer want to redeem the bond, then they have to reissue the new bond with a higher coupon rate than the existing one. So it's unlikely that the issuer will redeem the bond. Can you follow here? Okay, because the current coupon rate of this bond, of this callable bond is Y star. If the market yield is higher than Y star here, issuer don't want to redeem the bond because they have to issue the new bond with a higher cost, higher coupon rate. So it's unlikely that this callable bond will be redeemed. So value of the bond will be close to the green line. It's just the same as a non-callable bond or a straight bond. However, if the market yield go to the left-hand side of Y star, because the market required rate of return from the investor is lower than the current coupon rate of the bond. Okay, so it's possible that issuer may reissue the new bond, because they can issue the new bond with lower coupon rate. Okay, that increase the chance of bond can be redeemed. So with this callable bond, based on the price yield relationship, actually when the yield decrease, bond price should increase, right? But for the callable bond, it may increase less, and for some certain point, the bond may not increase anymore, because it will increase the chance of the bond will be redeemed by the issuer. So when the yield go to the left-hand side of Y star, the relationship would be follow the dot line, the blue dot line here. Okay, so for the callable bond, it will follow BA. For the callable bond, it follow this line, BA. But for the straight bond, would be A prime A here. Okay. Understand what I'm saying? For the callable bond, okay, when the market rate lower and lower, then increase the probability that the bond will be redeemed. So this callable bond cannot increase anymore. Eventually, the bond will converge to the call price, right? It will converge to the call price. Okay. And because of actually, for the straight bond, I have already mentioned that when the yield decrease, actually the percentage change of the bond price will increase more than when the yield decrease, that we call the positive convexity, right? But for the callable bond, as you can see, when the yield decrease, the bond increase less than when the yield increase here. So in this case, we call the negative convexity. If you still remember the percentage change of the bond price, right? It can be approximated by the modified duration. I can't remember, not here, right? Not sure whether we have 1/2 of this plus the convexity, right? What I just want to show you that this is a positive convexity. This term is always positive, but this one is, for the small change is assumed that the increase of the yield or decrease of the yield would have the same effect on the percentage of the bond price. But when we introduce the convexity, you see that this term is always positive. That's why, it makes when the yield decrease, when the yield increase, the bond price decrease less. But when the yield decrease, the bond price increase more, because this term will add on. But this is not applicable for the callable bond. Okay. This formula will not be applicable for the callable bond, because the bond price will convert to the call price. And this is called negative convexity. Okay. So this slide basically explains what I already mentioned in this graph. Okay, I already mentioned in this graph. And also, this is just provide more detail that I already mentioned. Okay, positive convexity, option free. The price appreciation will greater than the price depreciation. I already mentioned about this. For the negative convexity will be one for the whole bond it will not be the same. Okay. And here, this table also provide, more explanation about the negative convexity again. This is for the negative convexity, okay, and this is for the positive convexity. When the yield increase, okay, when the yield increase, the percentage change of the bond price will change less compared to for the yield decrease for the positive convexity. But for the callable bond that has the negative convexity, okay, for the callable bond, it has a negative convexity. So for the change of the yield curve, for the positive change of the yield, y%. The negative change of the yield would have change less than y%. Basically, just address the point that I explained in this graph. Okay, basically just address the point that I explained in this graph. That
The gap between the dot blue line and the green line, is that the call price?
here,
Yes.
no, the call price is on the dot line here, on the blue dot line here. Eventually, this dot line should convert to the call price. This is the bond price for the callable bond, right?
Yeah. The difference gap between the green line and the one is the call price, the pure call bond price without bond.
You mean the call premium?
Yeah.
We should call the intrinsic call value of the call at that time. Value of the call at that time. Because if you follow this formula, okay, if you follow this formula, the blue dot line here, right? The green line is here. So the difference is the value of the call at that time. But may not it's the actual value of the call. You understand what I mean? And the expiration, of course, it should be equal to the value of the call. But we just learn not the detail about the call. Value of the call, it can be decomposed into. The call value, it can be decomposed into we call the intrinsic value plus the time value. When value, not sure whether I should go further. Let's consider warrant, okay, warrant. When the exercise price, okay, is higher than the current stock price, the value of the warrant is equal to 0. Suppose go back to BBL warrant. Suppose that current BBL stock price equal to 150. Exercise price of this warrant is equal to 300. So we will not exercise this option, right? Because we have to buy at 300. Current market price is only 250. If this is the warrant is It's not European, right? It's not American. But what about value of the BBL warrant now? Is zero? No. It may be positive but not equal to zero. That means value of the call is equal to the intrinsic at the time. Even though right now, we cannot exercise, but it does not mean that in the future we will not exercise. The value of the call it may be, increase in the future. That's why we have the time value of the call. The intrinsic value we can measure by look at the current, difference of the underlying asset and the exercise price. You can see that the intrinsic value right now is equal to zero because we don't want to exercise the warrant right now, the option right now. However, the warrant price right now is not equal to zero because of time value. Okay, so back to your question. The difference here is represent, okay, the value of the call, value of the call, okay, value of the call. When the current market yield is go to the right hand side here, it means that value of the call is very close to zero. Okay, it's close to zero. That's why we have this graph because of the intrinsic value is zero, the time value also very close to zero. Okay. I already explained this, the negative convexity. This just provides the difference between positive convexity, okay, that we have learned already for the straight bond, negative convexity. I just already explained in the graph. Here also just the same, just like your question here. Okay. PNCB minus PCB here is value of the call. The call, not the callable bond, is value of the call. Okay, only the call. Okay. Any question? Basically, just follow that formula. Okay, just follow that formula. PNCB is non-callable bond or straight bond, right? And PCB callable bond. That's all for this lecture. Next week we will move on to price the callable bond and callable bond. Okay, next week we will